Hello, welcome to an episode of Making Justice. Today we have Susan Sklar, the Interfaith Team Manager at Equal Exchange. We are so thrilled to be talking with you today. So Susan, we're going to just jump right into it. I think people are really interested in hearing more about Equal Exchange. So can you tell us about yourself and the Equal Exchange as an organization?
Well, thank you for having me, Misa. I'm delighted to be here. I am an activist, an organizer, an administrator, a coordinator, many different things. I've been at Equal Exchange for almost 17 years. And Equal Exchange itself is a 34-year-old organization. So our mission is to build long-term trade relationships that are economically just and environmentally sound, to foster mutually beneficial relationships between farmers and consumers, and to demonstrate through our success the contributions of worker cooperatives and fair trade to a more equitable, democratic, and sustainable world. What I just recited is our exact mission statement. So that's what we do. I work for the Interfaith program, which has 13 partnerships, 12 of which are Christian, one of which is Jewish. Some of the partnerships are United Methodist Committee on Relief, UMCOR, the Presbyterian Church USA, United Church of Christ, many different groups. And they all work with us. We have the same values, and thousands of churches participate. They serve coffee during fellowship hour after services, and they will have tables and sell Equal Exchange products. Also after services, sometimes during activities, and during the holidays, they'll do holiday bazaars. So we work with there are church coordinators, we work with all these groups, and again, we share the same values, and I've been working with these groups for many years, and just have been in contact with very inspiring coordinators, leaders, congregations. It's been great.
That's wonderful. We are so thrilled to be talking with you and having that chance to explore Equal Exchange more today. So as we start, as we always ask guests who are guest makers, so you're our guest maker today on Making Justice, we really frame this conversation that we hold with each of our collective makers around consumerism. So what does ethical mean to Equal Exchange?
So ethical means that we are focused on values of dignity, cooperation, community. We believe that people deserve to make a living and to have a quality life, to feed themselves, to feed their families, to get basic services like education and medical help when they need it. So that's what ethical means to us. We have created an organization. We're part of a network of alternative trade, which builds sustainable economics for farmers, gives farmers power over their livelihoods through democratically organized farmer cooperatives, and supports their commitment to sustainable agricultural growing methods. So there's an environmental component here as well. And under the system, small-scale farmers rely on cooperation and solidarity with one another, and then with consumers in the United States. Again, particularly in the face of climate change, and also in the face of corporate consolidation of the food system. So this is a whole alternative way of doing economics in the world.
Wow. So how did Equal Exchange grow from being a worker-owned brand to a thriving model of fair trade?
Well, we were never just a brand. We were formed in 1986, and we were to be a model of alternative trade. And because we were working with farmer cooperatives, we thought it would make sense if we ourselves were organized as worker owners in a cooperative, that it made sense to have that reflection, to mirror each other. We have thrived because consumers are looking for a way to use their dollars differently, to support an alternative supply chain, and one that is outside of the conventional commercial system and one that is non-corporate. So we are not a bottom line company. Our values are different. Again, they include dignity, cooperation, community. They also link diverse, democratically run groups and social change organizations together into a network of mutual aid. So we are in a network with your organization. We're all working together for similar kinds of causes and values. And the church sector actually helped us to gain ground for many years because they did understand the transcending values and could really plug into what we were doing and see it outside of the traditional commercial sector.
I'm so glad you touched on that in terms of your work with interfaith communities, churches. That's actually how our organization was introduced to your organization many years ago. One of our oldest partners, Sister Cecile Roger, shout outs to Sister Cecile, an amazing individual and advocate for equal exchange, fair trade, and just how wonderful all the products are. So definitely this definitely worked in terms of introducing an organization.
People really get the message at church. People spread the word. People take it on as their personal ministry.
That's amazing.
Very cool.
So how do you feel that equal exchange products or the agency, the organization, truly make justice?
Well, we come out of the same tradition as food cooperatives, the old food cooperatives of the 70s and 80s, many of which have still continued to the current time. They circumvent the supermarket supply chains, and they're in direct contradiction to the prevailing social doctrine that contends that human beings must constantly compete with one another for scarce resources and commodities, and that the ultimate goal is for each individual to maximize his or her individual gain. So the truth is, there is room for countless methods of alternative economic interactions between human beings. Proponents of alternative economics contend that there are lots of different social relationships through which individuals, communities, and organizations can make a living. So some of the specific things that we do are we have direct trading relationships with our partners, 40 different co-ops in 20 countries. We have long-term trade relationships. We give farmers access to credit to avoid predatory loans that keep them in debt. There are no plantations. We don't deal with farmers who are part of plantations or owners of plantations. We make sure there's no child labor, which I'm sure you can appreciate being part of your organization. We only work with democratically run cooperatives. We visit the cooperatives. We have delegations to our cooperatives to visit the farmers. We work towards gender equity, training, and money for special projects. And we help with technical assistance. So we do all of these things. They're all different activities that really are quite different than what normal companies do.
Absolutely. I think that was something that in preparing for our time together, I had to really wrap my mind around all the different facets, as you've mentioned just in our conversation so far, the alternative trade model and that worker-owned model, I think is so integral to building that infrastructure that really supports and uplifts these workers. So
yeah, it's quite different. I mean, most companies are really trying to make the most profits that they can make, and the workers and the farmers are just tossed aside. They just are not part of the whole equation, and farmers are some of the poorest people on earth. So they grow our food, and sometimes they can't even afford to feed themselves. So this is really a model that is built on the idea of fairness to human beings, human dignity.
So, and I was going to say, in my mind, as you're saying, farmers are some of the poorest people on earth. I was thinking it, and also some of the most integral people because they're producing our food supply. amazing.
Yeah, no, we depend on them. We completely depend on them, and then we don't pay them what they're worth. And they're so poor, sometimes they have to abandon their land and go work in factories for a couple of dollars a day because they can't afford to get their products to market. That's what we help to do. We help to get, their products to the United States, to people who value them and will buy them and will be committed to them. Most of the products that we have are organic. So they're, people who care about the environment and want to be stewards of the earth can feel good about supporting these products.
I'm so glad you highlighted that. And something that we've been finding as we, in our organization journeys and anti-demand work, is the complexity around what is ethical, which is why we always make sure to ask that question, which we asked. That was the second question we asked you. But I love that you mentioned the different facets, because we find that for ethical, it could be defined under sustainability. It could be defined under the work that we do, anti-trafficking, fighting against child labor or forced labor, as well as those standards like organic, vegan, all those other labels. So that's so neat. So where can people find Equal Exchange products? And is there any particular product that you would recommend to someone to introduce the Equal Exchange brand?
Sure. You can buy our products directly on the internet. You can go to www.equalexchange.coop. COOP is our suffix. Go there and then just go to shop, and you'll get right into our store. When you get into the store, you'll find you have to buy things by the case, because we want people to really be part of this solidarity movement, and we're trying to emphasize people buying in volume. A case is not that big. A case is 6 small packages of coffee or 6 boxes of tea. And we want people to, to order by the case, wholesale, and they can get it that way. Our products are also available in a number of independent markets. I'll just mention a few of them. It's like Heinen Brothers, Hannaford's, just look for them in kind of your local food co-ops. Most of the food co-ops, they were our early supporters, and they still support us. So you can find them in independent and family-owned supermarkets. Sometimes you can find them. We have a lot of different cafes that use our coffee and our products. You can sometimes buy the coffee or tea or cocoa in a cafe.
I was just, as you were saying, different markets, my mind was flashing back, I'm a visual person, to in Texas, we love and hold to high esteem HEB, our bar supermarket, right? And I've always loved that you can go to a place like HEB and walk in, because HEB is everywhere. It's in different socioeconomic neighborhoods and parts of town. And you can go to the coffee aisle and find Equal Exchange, that red coffee case. So
yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, in terms of products, one of our most exciting products is our Palestinian olive oil. It's from the West Bank. It's organic. It's extra virgin. It's from this amazing group that works with farmers there. I have traveled myself there twice to visit with the Palestinian Agricultural Relief Committee, which is also called PARC, P-A-R-C. And they are just the most visionary, inspirational organization. They help farmers in so many different ways. And the oil is amazing. It's got lots of antioxidants into it. It's very peppery, and it's just really, really high quality. And you can feel good about the product. You can feel good about supporting these small farmers, which who don't have very many alternative ways of making a living. So, and we also have dates from the same group, delicious, juicy medjool dates from that same group. So we're known as a coffee company, so we have all sorts of great coffees, but these are like 2 products that are very wonderful. And I just want to mention too that this year in the fall, we're going to be offering a solidarity box with products from farmers all over the world: coffee, tea, dates, what else is in there? Cocoa, chocolate chips. And the whole theme of the box is solidarity with small farmers. Now during COVID, when it's hard to get out, it's hard to find products, you can order them online. It's going to be available as of October 1st. And it's a good way to reach out to farmers, to send them to your friends and family. It's a good way to show solidarity, but also it's a good way of giving gifts this year. You know, given what's going on in the world, it really shows a connection between people and between farmers. And so we're very excited about this. We're trying this for the first time. I mean, I will say that, you know, that we're really having a difficult time in the interfaith department because churches are closed. So all of the churches that have promoted our products so diligently, you know, for so many years are having a hard time because they're not having fellowship hour at church, and they're not having the table sales and all that, you know. So so the Solidarity Box is a way for churches to kind of get different products to their membership. It's just a way for people to do more gift giving with equal exchange, fair trade products, and just to feel that connection between people and between farmers.
Well, I will definitely be looking at that box. And I was going to say, I have tried the olive oil. I wish I had gotten it out for the interview today, but it is delicious. It's definitely a different, like you mentioned, peppery note versus if you're used to just kind of drinking, or not drinking, who drinks olive oil, but eating an everyday olive oil. It definitely has more flavor, and I love enjoying it with more like special dishes and things.
Yeah, I mean, olive oil is like wine. It has different flavor profiles, and this one is very unusual. People who grow up with this oil crave it. You know, it's like a taste that they associate with the Middle East, you know, with home, and it's just lovely.
I think I'm going to enjoy some after our interview. So, well, Susan, it has been a pleasure. Is there anything else that you want to add for the listeners of Making Justice and the viewers?
No, I think it's just been so great to be part of this, and thank you for all of your comments and reactions and for inviting me here. I just think it's an important time for us all to be supporting alternative economic supply chains, and I would say probably alternative organizations in general, because, you know, our economic system is not working. It's broken down, you know, during the pandemic. And so we really need to support each other and to, you know, use our dollars, our consumer dollars, and our, you know, to support the causes and the values that we believe in.
Absolutely, that is part of the infrastructure and the fabric that helped us create Making Justice. We hope to inspire people who watch this and listen to this, know that Equal Exchange is out there and available in your local grocery store, and you can order online. Halloween is coming up, so you can order milk chocolates, individual wrapped candies, chocolate bars, or dark chocolate bars to give out, you know, on your doorstep.
Absolutely.
Of course. So thank you so much, Susan. Really appreciate you and the work that you're doing. Spread the message. We'll look forward to the Solidarity Box. And thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Misa. It was great to be here.